I hate you so much.
This is so good. This is the absolute,
I hate you so much.
this is the absolute best podcast we've ever done. God, you're drunk off of Michelob. This is depressing. Whoa. Welcome to May the Zoo Be With You, America's most alcohol-fueled TCG podcast, where we are a lot like a Black Label PCG 10. We're not that accurate, but we do smell like tacos. Well, May the Zoo Be With You.
You're supposed to do our intros now.
Yeah, you gotta keep going. That's just it, huh? That's where it stops.
You worked on that all night. All night.
I worked on it. It was so good. I thought of it about a half hour ago. I was like, I gotta fit this in.
That's what an unemployed man sounds like right there. He said all day. Think about that
All
joke.
day.
I thought we agreed we're calling it fun employed.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing.
I'm of
also
course
am unemployed.
I am of course joined by the man with more members. I don't know. Than Louis.
Then fine.
Gosh.
That is to the moon, baby.
I'm also joined by the man who's given up and now making Lorcana content, Louis DeGeorge.
I have to make that video now.
Yeah, of course.
That's your tomorrow's video. That's fine.
I'm proud of you for finally realizing it's time to make some videos with the game that people care about.
Anything I can do to expose the truth. What is up, everyone?
Expose.
Oh, you're finally going to expose yourself on YouTube?
Welcome to Super With You, your Magic the Gathering and joke podcast. Today,
We're better at one than the other if it helps any.
today is going to be a wild episode, so strap yourselves into your time machines. We're going to be talking about Doctor Who and the allocation cuts that are happening at distro level. We're going to talk about My Little Magic the Gathering, the My Little Pony set that came out this week. We'll talk about Rudy from Alpha Investments buying 69% of PCG Grading Company. We're going to talk about 151 versus Lorcana. Somebody was right, somebody was wrong. Find out soon.
If it helps any, they definitely both outsold Lord of the Rings, I believe, according to Josh. Is that correct, Josh?
Nope.
Oh, close? Was it close?
And then we are going to talk about George's wild speculations for Lorcana collector boxes, of which he has no clue what he's talking about. But let's hope he gets banned for Lorcana.
How about say follow along to find out if we're still Lorcana content creators after this week?
Yes. All right, Alpha Clash, you're on deck. Get ready, baby. You're next. Polywog, I saw the update. I haven't given up on you yet either, baby. Don't worry. Me and Louie got your back.
All right, let's chat about Doctor Who. Cuts were crazy. We got one allocation from one distro. One is typical, not doing their allocations until the last minute. But got a quarter of what I asked for. It's crazy.
Now, is that a quarter of everything you asked for, or was the distribution shifted
cuts on
slightly?
decks.
I got cut on decks.
He did. Oops.
Just.
Let me know. I'll pick up your decks. I got 50% on decks. It was a quarter on.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I asked for a lot of decks though. I've been asking for a ton of decks
that's because you want to open them and make yourself miserable, so you can come on this podcast and make me and Josh miserable.
Opening up, I have not complained once about Commander decks.
That's true. That's true.
Commander decks are the way, baby. You do like basically no sorting. You open them and you sort them in a line, and when you import your inventory, you just import the number of cards. You have to do zero organization, and you guys know I can't count, so it's perfect.
Or read.
Yeah, you don't even have to read. You just type the letter. You just type the letter that's on the card, and it's perfect.
You're really selling me on this. My office is an absolute state of madness. So no organization. That's a win.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about. I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about what does this mean for Magic? Are they finding out that they are overprinting, or they just don't think that Doctor Who? And then I want to talk about, is this good for the economy of Magic to not have an understanding of how much product you'll be able to get?
Wait, what?
Which one would you like to go for first? And we can talk
I'd like to understand the second one.
Okay, let's go that way. So when you order Magic right now, you have no clue if you're going to get cut in a quarter or if you're going to get everything you asked for. There's I asked for basically the same amount of this set as every other set, and you just have no clue what your cuts are going to be. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean,
it's always been.
It's very maybe. It's very clearly a bad thing, right?
I mean, for the last year, it's been, other than Lord of the Rings, what you ask for is what you get. We've talked about that on the podcast like 100 times.
I mean, like when Magic is soft, you don't get a lot of cuts. When it's a set that has a lot of demand, you do get cuts. Like, this isn't rocket surgery. Like, Pokemon will never have cuts again, I don't think. Like, Pokemon, you might never see cuts again.
I might never order a Pokemon again.
Yeah,
you might have enough until the rest of time.
Yeah, Pokemon. This is the way it always is. Like, you don't get cut on, I don't know, AFR. You're going to get cut on Doctor Who and Lord of the Rings.
You think Doctor Who is that? So you're saying that the demand for Doctor Who was so great that they cut?
No, I think that this was a combination piece. I think first, people did want more. It's a special set. I also think that they wanted this to be a limited print run. I think they wanted it. Now, hold the phone. I'm not convinced we won't get a second wave.
We will definitely get a second wave.
I'm not saying that either. I'm saying I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could be that. It could be.
We got more waves of those, though. We got more waves of those.
You got one a week for 3 weeks afterwards. I mean,
that's essentially what we got on the first wave too. We got 2 or 3.
But that's what he's saying is just because this is what you're allocated to the first time doesn't mean that's all there's going to be forever. Stuff could come out over time.
And also, when I say wave, I mean something that comes from WotC to distro, not distro trickling it out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know. The
Warhammer decks are on distro's collector sale this past week.
Are they really?
I don't think they were discounted because they're still over what they were charging before.
Oh, they're still above what we should have paid. Okay, yeah, right. Okay.
But they were on.
I was about to go ham. I was about to call my rep right now. Hang on, you bozos.
They still have them though.
It's what up? I know it's 9:00, but I need some decks.
Those are at their prices is not there's no money to be made. It's basically retail costs.
But. I think WotC wanted to make this set pricier. I think they wanted they wanted to restrict demand and make this a more premium product. And I understand people don't like premium products, but that's, too bad. WotC does.
It feels like we're getting, and listen, maybe this is the wrong take, but from this side of the counter, when we talk about allocations, how much product is going to be available, it feels like WotC is printing some products as service to existing Magic fans and other products as entryways, as ways to open the door to the rest of the world to try to get into Magic the Gathering. We've talked as Universes Beyond being, it's a really good way to go about that, and Doctor Who seems like that, right? It's not necessarily going to be the biggest piece of fan service for the millions of Magic fans around the world, but it's a good opportunity to get in the door of Magic. And I think that might be why we see fewer products printed, right? It's more of a niche within the existing Magic community over something like Commander Masters or Double Masters 2022 or Time Spider Remastered.
I didn't realize you got cut on decks. That's a mistake on their part. They got cut on decks. Decks should have been flowing from the rivers because I agree with Josh. This is a good way to get Doctor Who people involved in Magic. And if they can't find the decks, that makes that harder.
So again, I asked for a lot of decks, so right. Comparably to other products, I am asking for more decks, so it kind of makes sense. Josh, do you remember if this is is this not a modern set, right? This is not like Lord of the Rings where it went to modern. This is not
yes, this is strictly, and again, that's another niche. We talk about this fitting a niche. It's now fit another niche, right? So it makes sense with this product being a more limited produced product.
Yeah, I think that this, the 50 cards per deck that are new commander cards is a really, really interesting. This could be a very, very.
There's 50 cards that aren't anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 40 or 50? You would know better than me.
I feel like it was 50.
Okay,
I might be wrong.
It's
wild. One of those two for sure. Yeah. That are new cards,
unique to the set.
Unique to the set. This set could, and they still haven't spoiled a ton of the collector box stuff. If you add in some serialized cards, some super rare, I think isn't there a mailbox? No, not a mailbox. What is it in the
telephone?
A telephone booth. You add some of that stuff. That's like a one-on-one. I think this set could actually be.
Wait, is there a 101?
I have no clue. They haven't spoiled anything.
We know there's serialized cards. We know there's serial.
I don't think we even know. I don't even think we know that.
Yes, we do. It was released at the Gen Con panel where they went over like a bunch of Magic stuff. We know there's serialized cards in this product. We don't know about 1-of-1 or numerical break. We do know there'll be, I think it's 300 or 500. God, I wish I would have known this before. It's 300 or 500, and then if it's the 14th Doctor, let's say they do 500. If it's the 14th Doctor, there's 514. If it's the second Doctor, there's 502. So that's the way they're doing it as far as the Doctors go.
That's very cool.
I don't know if that number is 5, 3, or 100. But I know that it's one of those, and then the additional number of text.
So are any of them in Elvish text?
No.
Disappointing.
So I think that this could financially be a very, very hot set once the market sees how little box if the allocation numbers say anything to actual supply. I'm
not as convinced. Like, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll do well. It'll definitely be some moderate attendees, but I don't think it'll be.
It's priced below what Lord of the Rings was.
It will be. It's not nearly as hot. It's not nearly. It's not nearly the same IP.
Yeah, well, and it's not direct to modern, which is a big difference.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like. We won't have a set like Lord of the Rings for years. Like, it'll be Final Fantasy.
Dude, okay, so I had an idea for the channel. I guess we'll talk about it right now because we don't all three get to talk.
All 151 all the time, every day for the next 151 days.
Yeah, back off Malorcana.
So I was gonna do a 151 box opening, but it wasn't fun enough for me to open on the channel.
God.
Oh no!
Turning on Pokemon was the storyline nobody saw coming.
Hey, yeah. he's a man of data and facts, and when the facts change, he's allowed to change his opinion.
So I opened 3 ETBs outside while I was unboxing. Like, so UPS drops off all the stuff, and I usually open up some product.
You didn't even get it inside. You're just like.
And I opened 3 ETBs. I got nothing. We'll talk about it in the 151 second.
Okay.
All right. So here's my idea for the channel. Ready?
I'm in.
Kitchen Table TCG Universes Beyond. And I do a series where I'm exploring the universes beyond that I haven't done before. And like, I've never really gotten into Final Fantasy, but like, start streaming me just playing Final Fantasy probably 3.
I would watch the shit out of you playing some Final Fantasy 7.
Wouldn't that be
Don't
fun?
do the remake. Don't do the remake.
Can I tell you that this is such a good idea? I might steal it.
Yes.
No,
so good.
Yes.
So good.
I might steal that idea.
That's such a good idea, dude. You're such a good content creator. What the hell? That's so good. That's so. Yeah, right. That's why you don't know anything about the Magic the Gathering community.
Anyway, so I might do that for Final Fantasy.
That's a really good idea.
Final Fantasy 7's the PS2 game or PS1 game, right? Yeah,
I think it's PS1, right?
Yeah, it's a PlayStation game.
Because, well, I always get confused because wasn't there Final Fantasy in Japanese that was not released in English? So isn't like Final Fantasy 7 technically Final Fantasy 3 for US? Anyway, I
think you're right about something. I only know the English because I believe in freedom.
Right. Okay, gotcha. I've always wanted
I think you've also been right about something sooner or later.
I've always wanted to play Final Fantasy 3 on the Super Nintendo because I played Final Fantasy 1, I think, on the NES. Anyway, neither here nor there.
They're all on. I think they're all on Nintendo now, aren't they?
I don't know. I will not be watching Doctor Who. I just want everybody to know that. I have zero interest in Doctor Who.
People like it. I don't know.
Plus,
I think we're going to be. I think we will be surprised. I think we're going to be surprised.
God,
how many people like Doctor Who
after we get banned from the next game? Tag me in.
Tag me out when One Piece hits.
It's on Netflix now.
Can we just cover Bandai and then call it a day?
There's a live action one on Netflix that I started.
Wait, is it really live action?
It's live action. Yeah. Everybody says it's actually pretty good. I didn't know that One Piece was 25 years old. I thought it was like a new Gen Z thing. It's like apparently a millennial thing.
Yeah.
Not millennial. Whatever I am. I don't know what I am.
I think you're a millennial. I think that's.
I'm also a millennial.
Whatever.
To millennials.
Yeah,
I want to be younger than George. Give me
I think you are. I think you are just not on paper.
I am at the cusp of millennials.
There you go. The cuss.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're zoned in there.
I agree, though.
So great. There's 3 millennials hanging out making a podcast.
Final
It's 2023.
Final Fantasy could be as big as Lord of the Rings. I agree with
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
it'll be bigger. Way bigger.
I don't know if it'll be
It'll be
bigger.
twice as big.
I don't know
Not
if I would go
twice as
that way,
big.
but
It'll be
I think the hype will be incredible.
I'm gonna do some vile openings until I pull a Cloud
You
and
always
Sephiroth.
say this? No.
And then you don't open
always
a
say
box.
that you never do it. Remember
I
when
never
you
do
were
it. I don't like
supposed to be
opening product.
You were supposed to be opening stuff on beaches on my channel, and like we were gonna have a whole thing, and you never did it.
You never showed me how to do it. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Oh, George, I'll hook you up. You need a
I
channel to
was
open
at
boxes on.
Disney with a Lorcana box. I opened it
I
by
know.
myself. Screw you guys.
Dibs, that's my Universes Beyond. Universes Beyond's George Wendt edition. That's
We'll go
mine.
on Disney together. It'll be great.
That's mine. Dibs.
We should do a Disney cruise and do a podcast
I'm in.
from the Disney.
I'm in. I'm in.
Our
100%.
families could, Josh. Our families could come.
That's the win. That's God. You're.
It's a business expense for those of us who have stores.
First of all, I have an LLC. My channel makes money. It's just
I
not
don't know
enough to go on a
that.
cruise.
How does that not count? I'm
No,
shooting a
the accountant figured it out.
podcast on the
That's the
boat.
accountant's problem.
I'm shooting the podcast on a boat.
Oh yeah.
And listen, you guys have to run legitimate businesses. My accountant doesn't care. Psh, write it off.
All right. So Doctor Who, it'll be.
You don't have
this-
casinos on the Disney cruises.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to go.
Are you a casino person?
No, but I will play the crap out of the penny slots.
Yes.
That's
penny
the only
slots are
way to do
code.
casinos. When we went to Vegas, I brought $100 for each night, and the first 3 nights I was there for like 4 minutes. It was like out of money, roulette done, like poker done, like out of money. The last night I was like, I'm making this last. I went to the penny slots. I sat in the same chair for 8 hours. They brought me free drinks the entire time. One time I was up like $700. Then I was down like $400, or and then I broke even. I walked out with $100, 8 hours of entertainment, and free drinks.
Okay.
It's a shame we weren't friends at this moment.
Can I?
Yeah.
New idea. Another Universes Beyond. We
Casinos.
crack PCG slabs at Taco Bell and submit them to see if they cross over to PSA or BGS and say great.
No, hold on.
We have to do it at Taco Bell, eating chalupas.
And no napkins allowed.
No napkins.
I
no
think
napkins.
that adds an air of competitive
Fire
viability.
sauce increases
Yes.
the score. That card is now
100
Fuego.
That would have been a great transition, but we have to talk about My Little Magic: The Gathering first.
No, that was a great transition.
No,
Come
that
on, man. You're killing me.
That would've been-
All right. Edit this out. Edit it.
Hold on.
No.
You have to do what I do in the channel, Louis. Just say, "Hey, editor, take care of this." And when it doesn't happen, everyone just blames your editor. That doesn't exist, but they don't know that.
They know we don't edit the podcast. All right, My
Doesn't help
Little
that you shout to the
Pony-
microphone. I don't edit this podcast.
So they did the Extra Life 2023 thing, where they did
You
a.
have the coats up there? The coat pictures?
Yeah, I'm putting up the whole.
The coats are Fuego. The coats are Fuego.
Is this still going? Because I would not wear that coat.
Of course you would. You can't pull it off.
I can.
I can pull it off.
You know what the sad part is? You can totally pull off.
Of course I can pull it off. I'm full of life. You're like depressing. Oh no, I ordered too much Pokemon. I'm all, oh baby, I ordered Lorcana.
You're full of tacos, dude.
I'm full of
my God.
tacos and love of Lorcana. Those two things.
Notice how they make an L when you did that?
For Lorcana. Lorcana for the win.
I love that they do this stuff for charities whenever they do that. I think it's super good.
Yeah, they do great.
That's a massive win.
I want to talk about the cards though. I want to talk about an idea about this.
I have a couple of ideas too.
Okay, what are your ideas?
They should do live action bronies.
Okay, Louis.
All right.
I
Real
know
talk,
how desperately you want to be a Magic the Gathering ambassador, and I know it's rough for you because you own a store, so you can't be unbiased with any of your takes. You have to just shill all the time. But if you could, would you wear a bro?
Can I
Would
at
you
least
wear
buy
a
a grading
bro-
company first?
No, you can't. No, you can't. You're not that good of a content creator. Would you buy a brony costume to become a MTG and sorcery ambassador? You have to do both.
Oh, to buy one
You have
get
to do both.
I have to wear a brony.
Oh yeah, like 2 videos a month on the channel. You got to do in the full brony outfit.
I don't think
But
so.
Okay,
Really?
Let me ask you this question.
I have zero desire to be a.
If they
Magic
made a
Gathering-
4-player kit with you as a brony that nobody bought, would that help your? Would that help you?
Oh, and it's a 4-player sorcery kit.
No.
You can be a brony or a pirate.
Pirate.
It's up
I'll
to
take
you.
pirates. Pirates.
All right.
Then
all
I
right.
can do it. Then that's the One Piece crossover I've been desperately waiting for.
God, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the next game. I'm not ready for the next game.
I'm still catching up on I just fell in love with the last one, man. Slow down. Slow down.
It's great because I will finally enjoy sorcery when it comes out because I can actually play the
I'm
game.
not,
And Louis will move us on. Louis will
Sorcery
move us on.
One Piece to the
I don't even
moon.
want to talk. I don't even want to talk about One Piece with you guys.
George,
I don't even.
George,
want
we're
to
going to create a sorcery podcast.
I'm in. I'm in.
Zero.
Invite Simon.
The store owns
Podcast
boxes.
would be too good.
I have not opened a single sorcery pack. Or what? I have not opened a single One Piece pack.
It's weird that you just faked all those alpha box openings on your channel.
Sorcery. No, sorry. What game? One Piece. I'm getting them all confused.
This is so good.
The
This is so good.
the card quality. There's no core. You guys know me. That's all that mattures.
Did the corners touch?
I can't
touched
tell this
corners.
because I can't see it.
I touched corners and the card folded in half.
Tune in
I've
if you're
done that.
not subscribed.
already did
Subscribe
that with-
now. Tune in next week.
We already did that with another game, and we know how that worked out. So,
I need a ghost hand to fold it for me.
I still can't believe you didn't realize that was just a human being in a
I thought it
glove.
was marble.
can we go back to My Little Pony?
I'd love to.
So these are silver border, which means
They
that they're
nailed
not-
this.
Yeah, they're not tournament legal. Should they do more of this?
Yes.
Should they do?
Absolutely.
Should this be what Secret Layer is?
No.
Is just silver border cards that's
No.
super creative and you can
No.
build commanders on?
You're so all or nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Should
What?
Magic
No.
the Gathering sell back to Hasbro and then just do My Little Pony sets from now until forever?
Should
they
all
change
sets just
Magic
be
the Gathering
unsets?
to My Little Pony the Gathering?
But unsets aren't even silver bordered anymore. So new unsets back to silver border. It's
They
retro.
nailed this. It's silver border, so no purist like Josh can whine too loudly. They
See, this is why you're
He'll find
so
a way.
wrong.
He'll find a way.
I'm whining for the opposite reason. Make playable cards or reskin playable cards. Give me
No.
playable cards.
No,
Yes.
no.
No.
Yes.
We
Give me
don't need
playable
more-
cards.
We don't need more of that.
I'm
Yes.
also listen, these are supposed to be fun. These are meant to be collectible, just little fun things. Just let them be fun.
You know what makes it more collectible? When you can play it.
You can.
That
play
has
it,
not
though.
been my experience.
As a as a father to two daughters, I can't wait to get these cards. And
Your daughters will never play that card because they're going to be too busy playing Lorcana.
Wow.
They're going to be too busy playing Lorcana, and you know it.
Nobody can play Lorcana. They have to play Porcana. That's the only
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
I'm in.
Porcana is
God.
Pote, dude.
God, that's the best name ever for a tournament.
It really was. I don't know who the creator
Ever
was
for a
that
tournament.
came up with that, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
Whoever store is running that deserves to put all the other stores around them out of business. It's that good.
It was pretty good.
Continue, Louis.
I think that they should do. I hate you so much.
This is the absolute,
I hate you so much.
this is the absolute best podcast we've ever done. And we've discussed nothing.
I think that they should do this more, where they do a IP that's not a full set, but just do legendary creatures, 4 or 5 of them, major sets. Give people the opportunity to build decks, and then you don't have to do a full-fledged set around this stuff. This to me screams if I were in a room with them and it wasn't just about money, it would be Universes Beyond should be Secret Layer that's connected like this.
So we have an example of that did extremely poorly. The initial Walking Dead Secret Layer.
It wasn't
release.
white. It wasn't. It wasn't silver bordered.
So, okay.
That's a huge difference.
Okay. Can I ask
So
you
in
guys
your
this
scenario that
question?
you laid out, the only way it works is with silver bordered. And if Secret Layer goes all silver border, that's all it is. Unplayable silver border
I'm not
cards.
saying that Secret
then
Layer
you're-
is all that now.
Well, that you just said if you were in a room with them, that's what you'd tell them to do. So I guess I'm confused.
No, I said that the Universes Beyond should be Secret Layer, should be stuff like this. Secret Layer can exist.
So no
That's not
Universes
normal.
Beyond playable cards.
Yeah, that's how I would prefer. Yep.
pass.
You're such a boomer.
Come on, boomer.
Like we got over that like
No,
a year
never
ago.
over that.
Like
I've
we
never over
moved
that.
past that a year ago.
Listen, I'm never
You
over
and
that.
Hatcher need to get on board.
This was a valid take
Hatcher
like 8
and-
months
but
ago. When I
Hatcher
started
and
making
Josh are
Magic
together,
content.
though. They're together.
Oh, is that true, Josh?
YouTubers.
We don't own stores.
YouTubers are attacking Hatcher and Josh, not by name, but Josh is taking it that way.
Wait, are they really
attack-
Wait, who's attacking
Oh.
Magic Historian?
Vile attacks just because we don't own stores.
Wait, who's
Just
attacking Magic
because-
Historian?
Just because we don't own stores, George.
Who?
We're
The
not-
one
we're-
percenters punching down.
All right,
We're not-
I
we're
will
not-
defend Hatcher till the end.
But
Magic
not
is-
Josh. But not Josh.
No, Josh is on his own.
I hate it here.
The Magic Historian is GOAT.
MTG Goldfish, come scoop me up. I hate it.
God, that guy's beard is amazing. His voice
It's
not so
amazing.
much.
I think it's so great to have an iconic voice.
That's iconic.
He's got a crazy
gosh.
iconic voice,
All right.
and it's iconic enough to where it works for him.
So can I ask you guys this question? We know that the Bronies and Wizards of the Coast are going to IHOP because they did that partnership. Why, for the
Same.
love of God, is there no Waffle House love
We
against that? with
said
any of
we
these
weren't
games?
talking about the Waffle House.
I told you I was going to.
He did
I'm
tell
a man
you
of
he's
my
going
word.
to.
I'm a man of my word.
I
Just
don't
wait
talk. No.
So far, we talked about Waffle House and Porcana, the two things I told you we were going to talk about. I'm 2 for 2. So
I do not. This does not. It's not relevant to me until they have cards like Pokemon does that you can go there and eat. I have gotten 6 Happy Meals for my kids. This week.
I'm stealing all the cards from the kids. Lorcana should print more boxes. The Louis DeGeorge story.
No, I give it for my kids. It's just like they need cards in the store. If they had,
Now,
I
cards,
agree.
If they had
Waffle-
cards in Waffle House, I would be eating. I would stop
Waffle
my diet.
House cards would be so imba. It'd be wild. Waffle House, way
What's
better than
imba?
IHOP. Way better than IHOP.
What is Imba?
Imbalanced.
Oh,
Wow.
What?
Wait, me or
You.
me?
Yes, you.
no, nobody says.
Nobody knows what imba is?
No.
Really?
You can't just.
Was that a phrase? Was that a phrase when you
It's like a
played?
StarCraft 2 phrase. Is it only in StarCraft 2?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. Was it a phrase when you used to play StarCraft 2 via?
I used to play StarCraft
Stone
1,
tablet
thank you.
in
I used to play
caves?
StarCraft 1 on my dial-up, and my dad would get so mad because he would try to call in to make sure I wasn't dead, and
Yeah,
he'd just get the
and he'd
busy
get
signal.
busy
because
signal.
I was busy getting wrecked by noobs.
That was me on RuneScape.
That was me on WoW.
God, StarCraft 1 is so much harder than StarCraft 2.
Okay.
Waffle House is the win.
Cool. Let's move on and talk about.
First of all, why do you hate pancakes? This whole
Who, me?
podcast could Louis. You're
Yeah.
very against this
Oh,
you
IHOP
hate
topic,
pancakes?
and this whole podcast is
not
body
against
built
pop-
by pancakes.
Why do you
Just
hate
so you know.
pancakes?
I prefer waffles. What like?
Oh, that's
That's
okay.
but that's true. That's a fair take.
Also, IHOP. I've never had a good experience. at
IHOP is not where it's at.
IHOP is like Waffle House trying to
This
be
is-
upscale.
Yeah,
When you go to
bingo.
Waffle House, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're getting the bottom of the barrel.
Wait, what?
You're getting the bottom of the barrel. You know,
George should know.
you
George
know
should
the
know.
guy-
First half.
you know the guy cooking didn't wash his hands.
Nope,
what
that's
you're
good.
getting.
That's called flavor country.
You're getting hair in your food. You
That's
just know
fine.
it.
More
When you
flavor.
go to IHOP, you're confused the whole time. You're like,
I'm so glad I didn't
It
shave before
looks
this
nice.
podcast. I was thinking of it, and now I just have the Waffle House beard,
you go to IHOP,
ready to
and
be
you're
a chef.
it looks nice, but it also looks like it hasn't been cleaned in 6 weeks.
Well, it looks like you just put it in the freezer and they just hit reheat in the micro.
Yeah.
Like, Waffle House, they're making it fresh. Might not be good. It's
It's
definitely not
the-
healthy, but it's
it's-
delicious.
It's the same quality food. It's just one's pretending to be higher quality. I'm not about that.
It's also way more expensive. Like,
Yeah.
Waffle House is still the bargains.
Speaking of the bargains, let's talk about PCG and their grading company.
Okay, so let's talk about maybe some confusion.
I'm confused.
This is what
Lay this out for us because we're both confused.
Okay. What I'm about to say is probably wildly inaccurate.
Oh, never mind. This isn't helpful.
love
This
it.
may
Let's
to be
go.
with you. That should go without saying.
God, I hope it is.
So it sounds like Rudy basically took the U.S. license from Channel Fireball for U.S. grading of PCG cards.
69% of it.
Yes. The other 31% is, I believe, owned by PCG or some affiliate. I believe that part I'm very unsure about. But they did say they wanted more oversight because they were unhappy with some of what was going on at Channel Fireball. Do you have the little kitty chat up there or no?
The what?
You have like the screen.
I'm not gonna post screenshots of Rudy's.
Let me pull it up.
I put it in the Discord.
That's why I'm looking for it, Boo Boo. Thought you were putting it up for me.
Channel Fireball not being involved in something is so good.
So let's get into that in a minute because I think that's actually really interesting.
They are. Rudy
so they said they have more control now, and Matt Rogers said he still owns PCG, the licensor. Rudy owns Premier Card Grading in USA, who is the licensee. Channel Fireball no longer has any involvement. And I read somewhere else that they basically said like they weren't super thrilled with some of the quality control of Channel Fireball.
PCG though, like that's the company.
Yeah, and I'm very torn on that statement because on the one hand, I'm like, okay, good, they were honest.
Right.
On the other hand, I'm like, are you going to regrade those cards?
Yeah.
I find this move to be totally wild. It makes more sense now that we know Rudy has basically bought the license.
So does the license expire in something like this, or
you have no idea?
I know.
Yeah, it could be a perpetual license. It could be an expiring license.
It's a perpetual license, but I don't know. It could be. I'd be surprised.
So I talked about grading today, and had a lot of comments on the videos. I talked about two reasons to grade. One, increasing the value of your cards, and
that's the reason.
And the other reason would be like you want to just keep the card forever. You want it to be protected. You can
slab without grading it.
Right, but like I'm saying, like the second side would be a reason to go with whatever slab you like the best, color, option, whatever.
Jesus.
And one of the things I was shocked by was questions like, why does it matter who grades the card? It's all the same number.
And whoever said that is, fine, but the market clearly values the grades very differently.
And it's also not always the same number, right? That's part of the reason for the acquisition here, or at least the declared reason, is the consistency and accuracy, because some of these workflows have been worked out over a longer period of time, right? So you're going to have different numbers at the end when you go through the same process.
So let's break this up a little bit here. So we can see that and also you can see CGC is in the middle of their kind of rebrand right now too, where they're now saying a perfect is a 10, a pristine is a 10 out of 9.5, or whatever the heck the word they use, which is similar to PSA because they see premiums for PSA versus BGS.
Right.
A BGS 10 is still better than a PSA 10.
Right.
But a PSA 10 tends to sell higher than a BGS 9.5.
And that is, I want to clarify what George said. That is not an opinion. What George just said is based on sales history on the market. Yeah. I think this is, whenever you talk about grading, it seems like everybody has such high biases. And that's the reason I did my grading the graders video, because I wanted to show people this is where I am doing this so I can figure out what grading company is easier to work with, in my opinion. I think this whole thing the whole thing of Rudy buying a license from New Zealand to grade cards highlights one of my biggest issues with new grading companies is the risk level associated with grading with those companies, because the company isn't as established. There's PSA is not going anywhere. You will always have a website to check the authentication, the numbers on. You'll always have the history of that stuff, and that's the risk on newer grading companies that I think nobody really talks about, is that they are new businesses. You're taking a gamble on new businesses.
I think that's part of it. It's also listen, there's a licensor. It's Rudy's licensing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't. Like, somebody throw me a comment in the. Somebody throw the comments in this comment section. Louis will tell me about it. But like, I don't think PSA has a license to anybody. You grade with PSA.
Yeah, I don't know how it works outside of USA because I know there are some. There was something that happened with Europe. Didn't somebody lose? Didn't a European company lose like a ton of cards from PSA? Yeah, this happened months ago.
Like, so I mean. All right, so let's talk a little bit about like where the landscape is for grading. Then we can talk about like what we think this move means. PSA, BGS, CGC are the big three. Then you get into some weird things. Then you get into Louis' favorite company. What was your favorite company? Or that one with the
SGC?
Foam? SGC. You get to HGA. Then you get into like that next tier. Then I would say you get into these kind of ones like this, like, PCG and all the others. I tend to think that, like, I think this will be very hard for them to kind of move up a tier into even, like, certainly not into, like, CGC levels, but, like, I think it'd be hard to even get into HGA levels. Like, I think it's hard.
So they have a total of around 40,000 cards graded since they started. That's
how many did PSA grade this week?
So I was looking for that. Didn't somebody do a release of all the cards? And wasn't PSA like in the millions for last year?
That makes sense.
And the next one was BGS, and they didn't even cross 500,000. I'm trying to find exactly where it was, but the amount of market share that PSA has over the card grading industry is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's absolutely insane is the amount of...
So according to Sports Collectors Daily, PSA holds about 75% of the market share. The company graded about 7.4 million cards last year.
Yeah.
SGC graded approximately 919,000.
SGC?
SGC.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, this is...
So that's surprising for a lot of people, like, because in the TCG world, most people don't talk about SGC.
Right.
But in the sports card world, SGC is super... Like, they grade way more old...
they're known for their old cards. Old known for value.
Cards. Yeah.
Like, they have the best value.
Right.
So I want to touch on something you said, George, about kind of when you laid out some tiers and talked about kind of moving up tiers. The Rudy effect here, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate. We're on the same page, and I agree with you, but I would argue that there's a stance that could say, by involving Rudy, or Rudy involving himself, or buying the license, or however that business deal went down, they're going to do something similar to what we talked about with like Lorcana, right? Where when it comes out, it's going to have more opportunity. Something like the initial Sorcery release is going to have more opportunity than your average indie TCG, because it's going to sit on a bigger platform and be in front of more eyes of people that would tend to engage with that in some way, shape, or form. So this grading company, by involving Rudy, is going to get kind of a shot in the arm. But the thing with grading, and this is from being a consumer, someone who just got into grading cards. Before being on this podcast, I'd never even thought about it, never looked into it, never bought a graded card until I got into this.
It's all
going to be about quality. Right? You can get that injection and that shot in the arm, but if the results aren't there and that consistency and that accuracy that Rudy laid out in his patron message, if that is missing, it won't matter what kind of audience you put yourself in front of. If you don't have that, I mean, grading that's what it's about, right? It's about the validity and the quality of the card.
I think that's part of it, but I mean, like, you have to give into the market of this. And like, if they've already said, like, we've had quality control issues in the first tens of thousands of cards we've graded. How are you gonna, like? I mean, like, I think they're gonna do different.
Do you scale that?
I think they're gonna do different little banners, right, where the grades are. He said they're gonna do different ones for the different games.
The metal one. Their big advertisement is that they have metal laser.
Sure, but giving them the benefit of the doubt, if they were able to refine that process in some way and get the injection from Rudy community flowing to the company, it could be good news.
Right. I'll be the bear.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'll Eeyore this for you. Don't worry, Louie. I got your back, homie. here's what I think Rudy's trying to accomplish. I don't know. Rudy, put in the comment section below. I think they're trying to become the HGA, which does like these crazy slabs. That's what they're known for, these crazy slabs of the indie TCG market.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to be. They're trying to be like the indie TCG creator. And I think Rudy's a genius. I love Rudy. I think Rudy's really like Rudy's really, really smart, even though he tries to act like he's not. He's a super genius when it comes to business.
Yes.
Here's why I'm a little skeptical on this one, though. There's two big reasons. Three. First, the indie TCG market, there's less cards worth that amount of value to get graded every year. There's less cards worth grading in those 3 games he mentioned this year than there were last year, and I don't know why that would change. Mm-hmm. With the sole exception, obviously, being Sorcery, because Sorcery just came out this year.
Right.
But I suspect, prices are already heading down a little bit. I suspect that will continue till they find something reasonable. The second thing is there's just not enough. There's not enough stuff to grade in those indie TCGs yet.
Yeah.
The third thing, and this is the big one for me, if this was going to happen, it needed to happen during COVID when wait times and prices were sky high for grading. I can grade cards for $15 at PSA today. Right. TCGs for less than $200 in value.
CGC is $12 and
yeah. I mean,
it's already less. That's
how often are you grading cards for less than $200 in value, though?
is that $15? You can.
We grade cards. Okay. So a modern Pokemon card. And first off, viewers, I don't grade modern Pokemon cards for myself, but a modern Pokemon card that's used the alt art Charizard that comes out. When one of those comes in as a trade for me, let's say it's a $120 card, and so I get it in a trade for my cost is $80 or something like that. Rough math. I can send that off to get graded and put in another $10 to $15 into it, and then if it comes back a 10, it's now a $300 card.
Yeah,
and that multiplies as a business. That multiplies my my money, and so
it's also PSA is $20 if you go up to $500.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And how many indie TCG cards are printed that are worth more than $500?
So
very few.
One of the I
should be or are.
Not even many are, and even less should be.
Well, and at BGS, you can submit when I did my sorcery submission, I probably could have submitted any card at any value because they're not looking up the values of sorcery cards. There's not a market history for that for them. I think you're right, George, that Rudy's focus here is on indie TCGs, and I think that they will do really, really well in indie TCGs. I don't know that they will see a price increase in terms of it being worth it for the consumer. I still think most people who are going to spend a lot of extra money on a BGS 10, let's say, right, of even an indie TCG, are going to prefer a grading company that they already have a history with. I think a lot of Magic people are going to go with Beckett just because they have a bunch of other Beckett slabs already. They're in that ecosystem. But I think for Rudy, this is it's almost low-hanging fruit because of his audience and because of the followers that he has, that he's going to get a lot of people grading as a result of just following him. I don't see that without some outside help, I'll leave it at that. I don't see the market accepting prices upwards for PCG because it hasn't happened. We've seen it in all the indie TCGs. It doesn't hold a premium compared to BGS and really compared to BGS.
So I totally agree with you. Here's where I think Rudy's going to nail this. This is not about making money on grading or even the grade. It's about giving patrons another benefit.
Now that's a great take. I mean,
this is a way to make subscribing, or if you don't want to subscribe to Louis, you can become a member of Josh's channel. The link is below.
So,
and he has a reference code for PCG, I believe.
That would be true.
Not me, to be clear. You rolled right into that one. I don't.
Oh, boo.
George, I would agree with you if the prices were less than PSA and and CGC, but they're not. Like
I think they could be. I think they could end up with the Rudy discount.
With the discount, it's not less.
With the discount, I think it could be less than
than
PSA.
CGC.
I mean, like, listen, I think
it's
CGC
less than PC. It's less than PSA.
I think CGC at $12, man, that's hard to beat. Like, what do you like? You know, are you going to grade a card for $5? I mean, like,
well, that's what it's going to come down to with that community you were talking about, Louis. If you're not grading it for if you're grading it for value, it's a pretty hard sell to not go for what is it, BGS or PSA. But if you're grading it to protect the card because you like the card, make it look cooler, it's hard not to just be like, that's the cheapest option for that, right?
Well, if you're buying your sorcery boxes from Rudy and Rudy has a special slab, and you don't really care about the value, you're going to go with the Rudy special slab. That's
100%.
That's going to happen for sure.
100%.
When you look at the grading card market, I don't see any way that even a purchase from Rudy adds anything that competes with CGC. Certainly not PSA. Certainly not Beckett.
I don't. Yeah, that's fair, but I don't think they're there yet. I think they're competing with everyone else down there yet. But they get a leg up on that competition.
Nobody else matters. There are zero other.
Well, but that's not fair because you can own it could be a legitimate and profitable business and just still not be one of the big three. We see that with TCGs all the time, right? We would argue a lot of these indie TCGs that we love and discuss, if you were to compare them to Magic and Pokemon, they don't matter, right? But they do because they can
do special Lorcana slabs. That's how you get me graded there.
Listen,
oh my gosh! Hold on, we need to get Lorcana cards graded at Rudy's company when he is against Lorcana. That's the move. That's the move.
You think he'll sign my slab?
He's also hold on. That's not all away from. He's also against his own company in the video where he bashes all other grading companies other than PSA and BGS.
Oh, you're doing old deep. You're doing old deep cuts. I'm doing recent stuff.
It wasn't it was a year ago. The video was a year ago.
Dude, it's YouTube. If it's more than 2 days ago, I'm out.
Don't grade anywhere else other than BGS or PSA because the values don't hold up.
I mean, like.
Clip it.
So I'm gonna be very clear. I think this is one of the most fascinating experiments in indie TCGs.
I think right there's a kicker in indie TCGs.
Yes, that's a great takeaway.
Like they have 3,400 cards graded for Magic the Gathering in PCG.
But like, be fair. You can't expect them to compete in the Magic the Gathering and Pokemon realm, George. Like that's not.
So they do have 23,000 Pokemon cards.
That's amazing. So half there. Half there. You
know why they have that many?
Why?
Because Channel Fireball did a whole promotion with all their Pokemon where if you I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like if you buy Pokemon, you get free grades. So that's
strikes again, dude.
That's where like all that came from. I think
strikes again, dude.
That's what I remember.
And I will say, like, that's what scares me more than anything about this is like how much demand is there really for this grade?
Well, and like
Rudy's giving it away for free if you do a box opening with him.
I think we see a lot of. I think Louis onto something. I think with the Rudy community and the Rudy box opening and people into indie TCGs, I think we see a lot of. I like this card. I'm going to get it graded. It's not necessarily going to boost my value. I think we see a ton of that here.
Like, why would you grade it there where it won't boost your value when you send a PSA and it would?
Because you like Rudy.
Because you like Rudy. Because
I love Rudy, but like,
I'm not advocating for it. I'm telling you what will happen. That will.
Buddy, we see this all the time. He's right. He's right. We see this all the time.
But here's my point. That will happen, but it's not enough to compete with. Anybody other than way below CGC. I mean, like.
Oh, sure.
Like, CGC's got way more cards coming in than.
But you shouldn't be. That's why we don't compare indie TCGs to Magic and stuff anymore, because they can't compete and they shouldn't be expected to.
PCG.
Same thing with this grading company.
Will be a indie TCG grading company.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And that's what it already is.
Now, it's a story if it becomes the best indie
TCG at this point.
But if it becomes the best indie TCG grading company, if every indie TCG's grades are preferred over the other one, because now it becomes this cult-like thing, now you've got something brewing.
Yeah.
But
Diamond
if you can't,
tried that during COVID, and like
but everyone was trying that during COVID. Now you're trying it in a different market
where there's less demand. This will definitely work better. I mean, like,
well, now you gotta win harder now, right? 100%, and that's what the Rudy community does.
Josh,
me too.
Josh, I think that would have worked with Rudy in the pandemic when this company
That's
launched.
when this should have happened.
When this company launched, that would have been nuts.
That's what
if they would have
gold.
gone. If they would have gone. With
I think there were some delusions of grandeur when the company launched, though. I don't think there was expectations might have been.
If they would have gone with Rudy instead of Channel Fireball at the beginning, this entire thing looks different. Like,
I think that would have been hard to do. The creators of this company, if you're like, I'm creating this company for card grading, I have Rudy over here and I have Channel Fireball over here. It's hard not to ink the Channel Fireball deal in their defense. Like, that's tough not to do.
Totally agree. But the excitement level back then when you couldn't get cards graded anywhere else was when that was a win.
Right, but as things start to falter, as other indie TCG grading companies start to fall off, as we see everything doing from the pandemic, if this remains the one that stands at the end of all of this, if it's the one that remains, then you have an opportunity, right? Because now if you are the one thing in any given market, you have a chance to be profitable and make it.
But
I think they'll be profitable.
Yeah,
Then what's the argument? Because we don't expect them to break into the big grading companies, right?
My argument is strictly to protect people from grading at PCG, expecting.
I don't care where you grade.
Let me finish my sentence. Expecting an increase in value of their cards.
Yeah,
like that is like at the end of the day, if you get a PCG 10, you're probably gonna end up trying to cross grade that into a BGS or PSA to get the value out of it.
Well, I heard from a reliable source that a lot of sorcery cards will get BGS 10, so I think we'll be all right.
I got
good card quality.
I was off by 0.5.
Well,
Sorcery did an announcement saying they've been working with PCG, right?
Yeah, they did.
They have custom slabs.
Yeah,
I think that's genius. Like I think that's.
Yeah, if you can work with this company and get custom slabs and be priority first in line and stuff like that, like why not? How does that hurt sorcery in any way?
No, I think that's genius. And I think it'll be used a ton. Again, I don't see it having a premium. Maybe in 20 years if the company's still around. I don't see
bingo
it
card,
today.
baby.
Bingo
card, baby.
I just in this next 5 years, it won't have a premium compared to
pumpkin spice season, baby.
Wait, when is season 3?
When we lose,
we gotta get banned.
We gotta get banned from a game, or lose a member, or I don't know, gain a member. Maybe I'll see if your store. We can get another store guy on here.
That's exactly what we need. More incorrect opinions. Let's do it.
I'm in.
All right, this one's wild. I'm
excited. This is great.
I can't wait for the. I don't know.
I'm excited to see if it becomes like a cult favorite within the indie TCG.
What's wrong with your shirt?
For this,
it's older than you are, child. It's ripped.
Oh my god! I was wearing a T-shirt the other day, and I was like, I looked down, like, oh my god, it has a date on it. I was like, in 3 years, this shirt will be 20 years old.
Yeah, this T-shirt's probably 20 years old.
Shirt. I'm like, how is this possible?
Okay.
Like,
I'm back on the join Josh's channel membership bandwagon after seeing your shirt. You obviously need it.
Wait, you were on the board. You were ever off the bandwagon?
I'm back on it. I understand why you are advocating for Porcana so much. I understand why.
Listen, man, I just want to be able to afford TCGs. Okay, let the crash come. I want to be able to buy cards.
Don't worry. Are we talking about Pokemon now? We're talking about the crack.
Buy up all those PCGs, and in 10 years you'll be rich. All right, 151 versus Lorcana. What were the numbers?
You have them, my friend. I gave them to you.
Dude, what happened to Pokemon? It's just like nobody cared.
You liked it. You liked it.
Somebody on this podcast said it was a bubble. I gotta find who said that.
Liked it. You could have just let it be.
I should just
let people be happy. Yeah. And then you came on here and you argued and you advocated and you killed it, dude.
You were obnoxious.
You killed it, dude.
Terrific about
you destroyed
Pokemon.
It. Right. Now, bathroom part 2. You have to fill a bathroom with derelict Pokemon boxes.
All right. Okay. God.
That is your fate.
So let's say this. This is rough. This is like, I am stunned by this.
So, yeah.
I've been on the record that I thought people were way overhyping the set, and this was not going to be nearly as good as people said. I did not expect it to be this rough.
Did you look at the numbers, or are you just going off your own experience?
Going off my experience.
So the numbers aren't great. They are better than something like Wilds of Eldraine. They're better than Phyrexia All Will Be One. However, this is Pokemon's big moment. This was supposed to be the big hurrah. And for the record, I reached out to both of you and asked about the products that were being tracked, and you were both on board via our group chat.
Yeah.
So the data that's being tracked is done by two store owners, even though their opinions are always wrong.
So let me ask you this question: How does this compare to like Lord of the Rings?
It doesn't.
Is it like
it doesn't
4 times less, 5 times less, 2 times less?
4.5 times less.
All right, that's fine.
You said it would outsell it. You said it would outsell it. You were over 400%.
I want to go. I want to not stop when I should stop. It's not really through release yet. It's only Wednesday. All these sales on Thursday, Friday, Saturday are going to push us. We're going to 4x our sales.
So that's not a bad take. The last 2 weeks of release are the most popular weeks for every set that I've ever tracked. So that's not a bad take. However, we are so far from being competitively viable to anything we've discussed. In fact, if you want to talk competition, your closest competition is actually Disney's Lorcana.
Yes!
That's your closest
We're
competition.
already ahead of boxes sold of Lorcana. It's only
You don't have boxes. You have ETBs.
we're only $700,000 short on value.
Oh my god!
So
Wait.
the information he's giving you
Is that
is
true?
I track the total number of boxes sold and the amount of money that was brought in on those boxes. Now
You can't count that 'cause you
Pokemon
don't have
sold
boxes for this.
No, it's boxes. He means ETB. Just look at the graph.
products sold. Jeez, George, I gave you all of the
There's a graph
information, my
in
friend.
front of you.
My brother in cardboard, please pay attention.
Oh, sweet.
Lorcana, however, is people are buying the shameful part. The bad part is that Lorcana, everyone on the two people that have a good opinion on this podcast will agree that with Ravensburger's statement, Lorcana is currently overpriced. It's currently overpriced. However, and they're still not only competitive in number of boxes sold, but 7-day sales as well as number or total amount of money made, just blowing them out of the water. It's crazy.
So Ravensburg is in their offices right now just laughing at this podcast because they see that there's been 6,121 boxes sold on TCG Player, and they're like, we only printed 3,000 boxes. These boxes just keep getting sold to people.
I don't know that statement, Ravensburger. I'm not speculating your print runs.
If you
I'm not guessing your print runs, Ravensburger. Please write that down.
If you had Lorcana FUD on your cheek.
Speculate on print runs of Lorcana. Mark it down.
Oh no, we're getting you banned from that one, buddy. Sorry.
So okay, so let's talk about this. So let's talk about 1v1 for a minute. Like, obviously, this is not what we expected.
I thought it was what you
This is worse
expected.
than I expected, and I was pretty bearish on this set. So can I ask? Let's ask I have 2 big questions. One, I'll get into one right now, though. Was buying their printers a mistake?
So we talked about this a little bit, didn't we? Like I have no clue. I have no clue how much they're printing. It's
Too much.
So I don't know that that's true.
TCG players below our cost,
right?
Or
but
on the last 3 boxes, basically.
But George, it doesn't matter how much they printed. If they printed half of that, TCG player would still be. We're still 2 weeks. We're still 3 days before the release. This is a massive what happened to the demand question, in my opinion. Not if they overprinted on this set, they overprinted by 10x. It's not even close.
Wow, wow.
So let's inject a little hopefulness and a little context. It's important to
it's not even close.
All hope is lost.
A little hopefulness and a little context. It's important to note that sales that flow through TCG Player don't represent the largest piece of the pie. That will still be hobby shops, local game stores, right? It's not like there's only this many boxes of Pokemon going around in the world. So this is for the commenters. Be aware that that's not the case. But it is important to note that when you compare it against other things, Louis, you might be right. They might have just printed way too much, and there's no hope that they would have printed anything appropriate.
I think so. I opened those 3 ETBs, right? So I get the product. I'm in the back. I'm in front of the shop.
That's the biggest story here, is you don't even get inside.
It's 78 degrees and sunny. I'm like, this is a beautiful day. Let's crack open some ETBs.
What a beautiful way to paint the scene. What was the sky like?
It was partly cloudy, but the good partly.
Explain to me the parking lot.
Is our crappy parking lot with all the debris. They need to clean our parking lot. The people, why do we pay a common maintenance fee? Why does anybody pay that? They don't do anything. Anyway, I opened 3 ETBs. I got 3 EXs, no alt arts, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. 0 cards. I got absolute nothing. If you wanted to burn $150 at MSRP, that was the way to do it. Absolutely nothing. I got 0 cards, 3 EXs in
Welcome
3
to Pokemon.
The only saving grace on this set, in my opinion.
Can I get the other 3 boxes in that case, by the way?
Let me first off say that 3 ETBs is not enough for any amount of market research. Not even close.
There will be hits unless you were stolen.
Listen, you're a store. Your boots on the ground. You know what you're talking about. It's fine.
3 ETB is not a metric for this, but if the pull rates are reduced, this set will be good long term. The pull rates for Scarlet and Violet thus far have been so easy.
I hate this argument so much.
Like, it's been way too easy to pull the set, and everybody who comes into my store says the same thing.
Okay, well, what Virginia's saying, it must be true. Soul Ring, nobody cares anymore.
They get their whole set in like 6 boxes. They don't, like.
Let me harken you back. Let me take you on a journey. Okay.
Oh gosh, I hate
to the last time pull rates weren't what they were expected to be because none of the cards were in the box. How's that one doing?
Such a better example.
How's that one doing? But well, this is the box I had at hand. So, how's that box doing, buddy?
Oh man, I want you all to know I spent way too much money on the rest of Scarlet and Violet to try to get more boxes just to have this set cut in half still.
I love that for you. I remember telling you not to do this.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right, you ready for my hot take?
It's gonna be fine.
This set's awesome.
Yeah, this set's hot. It's gonna be awesome.
No. You had me the first half.
What do you mean hot? Define hot.
So what this set has
78 degrees and partly cloudy.
Yeah. Partly cloudy, slight drizzle. It's that kind of hot.
What this set has is that every person who likes Pokemon will come in and buy an ETB on Friday. Every single Pokemon customer
that's true.
In my store will be in my store on Friday. They'll be in my store on Saturday, and they'll buy ETBs, and I'm not worried about this set at all, but it's
not going to do great.
It is not the hype and excitement that we were thinking that the Pokemon community was talking about 2 months ago when it was announced.
All right. I'm going to go over hot take 2. I'll save the huge hot take for another week. Why?
Oh, I want that one now. No, I know what that one is.
Let's
do it, baby.
I kind of want it to.
We got the time. We got nothing else to talk about today.
We have the best game to talk about still. Poor Kana. All right. I'll ask it.
I like
Pokemon the Paper Tiger. Do they look ferocious? Do we put them up on a pedestal as one of the big 2? But do they not deserve that title?
I wanted to talk about your other take, which is now the time to start buying Pokemon.
Oh, well, that's a very different take.
That's the other thing we talked about on the phone the other.
All right, well, we'll tackle that one.
Oh, George, no. I want to answer George's last question. No. If you would have asked the same question about Magic the Gathering.
All right. So let me ask you this question then. This is this is very rare for me. I've thought about this before the podcast.
Proud of you.
Yes.
Now I want to put a very big geo fence over this. I'm only talking about the US. I know in Japan, Pokemon is like Mickey.
Hold on. What's not the US? I've never heard of that before.
They hate freedom and tacos and Taco Bell and
like hockey.
Buc-ee's.
That sounds awful. That place exists?
But like in the US, their games don't sell particularly great anymore. Their movies have totally flopped. Their movies have totally and completely flopped basically every time. Like they Pokemon was not that hot before the pandemic. It got super hot during the pandemic. Now we're slowly going back down to where they were. Why is it not fair to say that, like, we way overestimated how strong that IP was in the United States?
I don't agree with that.
Get him,
What
Louis.
part of that?
Get him, Louis.
Like, if you, so I think I'm gonna criticize. Can I criticize you as a person? It's probably not a like.
It is made to be with you.
Can I talk about how your physical attractiveness means that your take is bad?
I'm going to criticize you as a person, but it's really not a criticism. It's probably, it's actually a very, you're not around kids very often.
I own arcades.
No, but you're like, listen, man, like
I'm around more than you're around.
No, like,
no,
it is absolutely crazy. Like,
where's this information? Then how come the movies don't do well?
I have zero.
How come Super Mario World movie comes out and it's enormous?
Well, because that
Pikachu comes out, new phone, who dis?
I have no clue when's the last. Is Detective Pikachu the last movie that came
it's the last
out?
one. It's one of the ones, but I'm like, nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared.
True. I remember when Detective Pikachu came out.
Louis saw it. He was in the theater. It was him and his friend, and that was it.
I think that like Pokemon is one of the bigger household names in
Detective
pop
Pikachu
culture.
made $112 million on the first week.
112 million.
That's nothing.
That's a lot of money. I take
Look
it.
at you. Look at you.
Big shot, your arcades. 112 million size.
Nothing. Yeah. Take one of those mil.
Like, why are we comparing Detective Pikachu to like?
I think it's the two most recent movies.
That's the highest revenue movie.
It's the most recent movie. So
I think that the Pokemon thing is like, it's old, man. Like it's been around forever. It's gonna ebb and flow.
Okay.
I think Pokemon's bigger now than it was when I was a kid.
I think that's true, but I don't think it's the biggest it's ever been.
They are banning in our local schools. They are banning Pokemon cards from being brought into the school again. Like that's how big it's getting back to that when I was in elementary school, and
I don't know what that means. Congratulations. I mean, what do you think that
that's
means?
how big of a thing it is for the kids. Like they are that obsessed with it that they're trading cards in class again. They're doing all that stuff.
I mean, I imagine that's always happened. Like I remember doing that when I was a kid.
Right.
I don't know what that means. Like, so what? I mean, I guess my question is if they don't go to the movies, the video game sales have not. It used to be whenever a Pokemon video game came out, it used to be huge.
It's
now
still a
now
huge
it did
thing.
okay. It did well. Wasn't the top game that year.
I mean,
wasn't close.
Pokemon. He's right. He's right in the point that a Pokemon video game release used to be more impactful. It was a bigger deal.
It was the 7th biggest release that year.
But also, I think there's some recency bias going on here, George. Like to call it not the top two, to go back to
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's clearly the number 2 game. It's right, clearly the number 2 game.
Yeah, but I thought your statement was something along the lines of, should we not even call it a top 2 anymore?
No. My statement is I think they're a lot more vulnerable than we give them credit for. So
this is interesting. Here's the sales data for Pokemon games. Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, Generation 1 was
which 70, is the early game.
That's the very first one. 74 million units sold. Okay.
Bingo.
God, Scarlet and Violet. Mm-hmm. Scarlet and Violet, which is the most recent and only one game, not.
Yep.
You don't have to buy 2 games anymore?
Sorry, hold on. This also go back because that includes the reprint in 2016.
Right.
If you look at just Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue, it's 31 million. If you look at just Scarlet and Violet, it's 22.6 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. That's a 30% decline from the number 1 year of it ever.
Louis, there's extra factors here. More people have handheld gaming devices in their hands right now than they did back then. So the game should be more available.
The Game Boy? Then the Game Boy, the highest selling Nintendo, the highest selling Nintendo console ever.
It is far more normalized to have gaming systems now than it was on the original Pokemon release. Far more.
I'm pretty sure that the Game Boy is the highest selling console ever.
So God of War sold 65 million copies at roughly the same time.
We are so in left field.
We're so in the weeds. And
God of War.
This is why, like, if you're going to have data, boys,
introduced to TCG, I don't think we'd be going untouchable. Like, I think they're vulnerable. I think Pokemon is far more vulnerable than we give them credit for.
Expand on that. Vulnerable to what?
I think you can tell me straight where they're number 3 with relative haste. Now, I'm not saying it'll be Lorcana, but it should be.
What?
But I think you can tell me that story.
Not a chance.
No, George.
For it to be number 3, something has to take its place.
Yeah.
Also, hold on.
What's it going to be? What takes its
place?
place?
Be very clear here. I'm only talking about in the land of freedom. I'm talking about U.S. sales only.
Sure. What takes its place?
Lorcana.
30 seconds ago, you're saying, I'm not saying Lorcana.
I think it could be. I think it's more vulnerable. I think it's far more vulnerable.
All right. Good. You can have that take. In 20 years when Pokemon's dead and Lorcana, you can tell us.
I did not say that.
So, all right.
That's wild. That's
we're
wild,
so in the weeds,
dude.
But I want to go back to the numbers. Game Boy family. So you're looking at Game Boy Color.
We're so in the weeds. We had just gotten back into TCGs. Let me drag us back.
118 million units sold. The Switch has 103 million. So there were more consoles in the hands of kids when the Game Boy was a thing.
I wouldn't know because that's over a longer period of time.
Much longer period.
That was sold over years.
Old. The Switch is 10 years old.
And the Game Boy Color is way older.
The Game Boy Color hasn't been sold in the last 15 years. That's the sales data of when it came out.
So let me ask you this: why do you guys Pokemon? The TCG was not seen. Like Rudy had to throw it in his bathroom because nobody would buy it before the pandemic.
Okay, Rudy has a billion rooms that he puts a billion different TCGs in. Like it's not like
but the Pokemon bathroom meme is pretty good.
I bet you Rudy has a Lorcana room that has all of his allocation of Lorcana.
I'll bet you he doesn't. He better not, Rudy. If you're holding Lorcana, you better slide in those DMs.
If you're holding Lorcana in Sweden right now, Rudy, I swear to God.
Rudy also has not a Pokemon ecosystem and market. He got 40 cases of the booster bundles. It's not like he's like the god of TCG Pokemon.
Wait, what? So my point is no, I have no idea what you're saying anymore. But people didn't want to buy it. He had it for sale for patrons, nobody bought it. That's why the bathroom started. He doesn't have a
Pokemon audience, and he certainly didn't have it in 2016.
He has a TCG audience. I mean, it's not like it's like that banana pants to be like you'd buy the second biggest TCG if you're buying Magic, especially if you're talking about an investment. That's his thing. It's alpha investments. People didn't buy it
because they're Magic players and Magic investors, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't go backwards.
The sales weren't there.
For Rudy, the sales weren't there.
The sales weren't there for anybody. The boxes were not worth a ton just a little bit before COVID. The prices absolutely went way higher as a percentage than Magic.
I agree that
it went way higher as a percentage during COVID. Why do we not think that this will I don't know why you think this won't retrace.
The reason it went way higher is because the IP is so much bigger. That's the point. The IP.
So we didn't realize that before COVID.
I think there's an element of that. I think there's an element that more people care about the Pokemon ecosystem than they're locked in their house. They start watching YouTube videos.
But that's over now.
I agree with that. But I'm saying it's because of the size of the IP that it was exponentially grown.
But now that's over.
I agree with that.
So why won't it retrace?
I'm not saying that it won't retrace or that
everything is retracing, right?
It's not going to lose its third. It's not going to go from the first selling TCG.
It's definitely not the first selling TCG.
It is 100% the highest selling TCG.
It's definitely the second.
No, there's no shot.
Definitely the second. Because in Japan, they actually don't print things to oblivion. They actually have limited print runs, which is why things hold value.
There's no shot that Pokemon sells less than Magic the Gathering on a year-to-year basis. There's no shot. No shot.
So Magic is producing 3 times the sets to let's wash it and say equally as large of a community as far as people who are actually engaged is concerned. And you're saying that they don't sell as many
has
products.
Way more products.
Yeah.
They might have a third of the sets. I don't know if your numbers are accurate on that or not, but
it's a fraction of the sets.
But every week there's every 2 weeks I have to make sure I'm ordering a new Pokemon tin or a new Pokemon whatever. And you go to Costco and they have a whole new box that's selling to every Costco in the world has a pallet of these discounted Pokemon boxes. Like the amount of product
does it help your argument?
It does. Like the amount of product that they burn through is insane. The number of people who come in to a store, a Target, and go and buy Pokemon cards is exponentially greater than Magic the Gathering. Maybe not exponentially, but incredibly greater than Magic the Gathering.
I would say the opposite is true for Amazon, though.
And I would think the opposite is true for the average hobby shop.
Wait, so you know the Walmart shopper, but not the Amazon shopper? I mean,
I don't follow Pokemon at all on Amazon. I don't know any of the. I don't even know if what they have for sale on Amazon, to be honest. But eBay, I would say if you look at sold listings on eBay, there's probably way more Pokemon than Magic. That'd be my assumption.
As far as sealed product, you could convince me there's more singles for sure.
See,
look at graded cards. We were just talking about graded cards. PSA is way, way, way higher on Pokemon. Even Beckett is way higher on Pokemon.
Well, there's also a function of that's Pokemon doesn't have a gameplay audience really, right? I mean, I'm not saying nobody plays Pokemon, but it's much easier to get your Pokemon cards graded because you're never going to shuffle them into a deck.
So, like
the super rare certainly won't be. Like the secret rare super rare things won't be.
Yes, they do.
Very rarely, Louis.
Yes,
like they have the key card.
The number of people that buy Pokemon that play Pokemon is an embarrassing fraction. Like,
yeah, I would say that's probably true. But like the people who play Pokemon also like to flex their decks and buy the alt arts and stuff like that.
It's because they're $5. I would too.
The alt arts are not $5.
I would 100% do that too.
Some are a lot less.
We just talked about some of these cards. We did a Pokemon box opening. I was going through a rough time in my life. We did a Pokemon box opening as friends. And I was so excited because the cards look so good. And I said, I'd bling out my whole Pokemon deck. And you said, you should do it. It'll cost you $30. Like,
for that set, that was true.
Yes. Yeah. It was a bad set. It was rough.
I think you guys underestimate the size of Pokemon. I disagree with you, George. I do agree that Scarlet Violet has been way overprinted, and I think the printing number.
You started this off by saying where'd the demand go, though. Like you started the section off saying where'd the demand go.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree.
And I think the demand is where I said it's going. Like I think I wonder if Pokemon didn't get incredibly artificially inflated during COVID.
That 100% happened.
Everything did.
Yeah,
that's not fair to that. Pokemon might be more than others, but everything did.
Higher percentage of inflation than like.
I agree with that too.
Magic and like even some other games. I mean, like I think
because you can play Magic. Like that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Is all the cards that you buy in all these boxes. Push comes to shove, you could use them if you wanted to, even if they're not the most recent serialized one of one, whatever.
$40.
Is that the best card in the set?
No, that's a regular Charizard EX, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
I had a rare. No, it's the double rare.
You just gave me a heart attack.
It's not the alt art. It's probably the full art.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Lorcana. It's gonna take Magic. It's gonna take Pokemon's place.
That's the worst take. Worst take on this podcast?
The problem is he makes his worst takes, and the podcast will be dead by the time that would not happen.
It's true.
It has to be 20 years for us to be like, this didn't happen, you're wrong. He takes these grandiose takes that like nobody can argue because it's not possible to prove him wrong. He's read the book on how to have terrible negotiations.
I want you all to remember this.
God. They should work on
then,
putting seals on their boxes if they're going to overtake Pokemon.
Are you going to just stand up and fess up and every week that it's not true, say that you were wrong, or what's the time frame here?
I think it'll be 5 to 10 years.
Like how many? All right, Louis, solid.
I mean, what? All right, let's do it.
Listen, if Lorcana's around in 10 years, this is worth $1 million.
Let's get some gambling going on here.
Hey, if Lorcana's around in 10 years, this box is for sale. So if you're watching this 10 years in the future,
I didn't say I think so. I think that Pokemon is not nearly as strong in the U.S. as like people want to believe it is. I don't.
Okay. Well,
thanks for sharing.
Like, let's talk about Disney.
That's why sales have gone down.
We already did it.
That's why sales have cratered.
We already did it. This
is the hottest set for this block.
We all said our piece.
It's the hottest set for the block. They can't give it away.
I just still couldn't believe you stood by it. We gave an opportunity walking back, and
oh no!
And I like the best part of that section.
That's not George.
I'm not saying it's going to be Lorcana. Oh, then what's it going to be? Lorcana.
Oh, it's going to be Lorcana. It could be Lorcana. It could be something else.
That's the best part of that section.
It could be One Piece.
So they announced these collector edition cases because they just want to be Magic the Gathering. Do you think that the collector edition ones come with seal on them?
Time out with your ridiculous BS FUD here. If you're making a trading card game and you don't want to be the biggest trading card game, stop making a trading card game.
Pokemon's the biggest.
No, we already put a bow on this. You just said we can't talk about it anymore. My point is, if you don't want to be the biggest trading card game, what are we doing?
That follows. So like I think this is cool. Like I think they have some alt. They're going to have some alt arts. I hope they're going to have signatures. You know, like this. They have the opportunity to really tap into stuff that like only Disney can do.
Yeah.
You can have cells of original animations. You can have original artist signatures. You can have all types of crazy things.
I think you're just wrong here, George.
What do you mean?
Because it just says 4 additional Rise of the Floodborn boosters. I think this product is just the cards that you see, and then there's 4 regular booster packs within it.
No, there's definitely special packs, I believe.
There's definitely something I believe.
Yeah.
I'm
99% sure I'm right about this.
Do you want to put money on this right now?
Yeah, let's do it. Wait, what are we betting on? What are we betting on?
If there's special packs in it. Because I'm looking at right now.
What do you want to bet? You want to bet one?
$50.
No, we'll bet one of the things.
I bet you 1 Tabernacle at Metro Vale.
You want to bet one of the collector packs? One of the collector box
you're
things?
Saying that there are special collector packs, booster packs in here.
That's in addition to the regular packs. It's an addition, not a instead of, not a replacement of.
Right.
Wait, no. Stop reading and make the bet, you coward.
I know nothing about this product. I'm in.
Stop trying to learn to read and start agreeing to bets.
I'm in. This is
done.
Okay.
God, that's not haunt you.
Hey George,
going to the moon.
While we're talking about agreeing to bets, I noticed Blake's Breaks doesn't have a deal with a new platform yet.
I have another 2 months.
Just no, you don't.
I'm pretty sure the bet was 2 months.
You have significantly less than a month.
So these cards look cool.
Is that true?
Yep.
That's not good for me. That might be a loss.
It's not great.
That's not great. Come on, eBay Live. Let's do this, baby. Come on, Whatnot. I've seen your standards.
Dude, that's where he got kicked off of.
Whatnot?
Yeah, wasn't it Whatnot?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, TikTok. I'm sorry, I meant TikTok.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I meant TikTok. I'm sorry, Whatnot.
Oh, you know what? George said so. Bring him back. Blake, you're back in.
Yes.
You're back in.
Louis is trying to Google this product right now.
I'm 100% right on it.
You're not.
The description of the product already says it.
I think you're 100%. Yeah, I think Louis might be spot on. It is.
Nope.
You're just wrong.
I think Louis might be spot on. But I
don't know.
While you guys are doing your Googling, I want to break down the fact that I think this is an absolute win. Like the collector edition of Lorcana here, I think this is a win. I think this is a good product. Like Disney fans, we've talked about it. We speculated when Lorcana came out, there's going to be a lot of people looking to collect the Disney things. There's a lot of fans in that vein. And cards, hopefully, if they're available and they're not functionally unique in the set, this is the right way to do a collector edition. This is a win. Like I don't have any do you have any problems with this product?
I don't, and I think I like that it doesn't have special packs in it. Like I like that it's like if that's the way it is.
Is it? Do you like it because George is wrong?
I'm not wrong. They have special D100 collector cards, I believe.
No, and that's also not. You notice how he's trying to change the bet.
Yeah,
now?
I noticed that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's another product which is also good. For me, the biggest question on what is it called, Rise of the Floodborn? It's supposed to come out in November, right?
November 17th.
It's like, when are we gonna get numbers? Like, or be able to? Can we even
We haven't even pre-ordered yet.
Right,
Maybe
we can't
still,
even. It's not
Poppy.
even up for pre-order yet. It just seems like the timelines are.
I suspect they won't take pre-orders because I think they're just like.
They're just gonna allocate it based on.
Yeah, I mean, like, who's not taking their max?
Right. That's wild. I'm stoked. I think
It's not like Magic or Pokemon.
I'll tell you, I still get calls every day of people,
Of course,
wondering
why,
when Wave
right?
2 comes out. Because it's Go. It is. It's going to be the #1 TCG in the world. Well, I guess it'd be #2.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon already isn't #1. This looks sweet. I like that there's not special packs in it.
There's gonna be special packs in the D100 set.
I think like the more special packs you get, like I really don't like how Magic does it. It just confuses the customer. Like the customer doesn't know when they can pull things and what they can pull out of, and I don't think that Lorcana's the right game for that.
I was thinking about this earlier. I think I'm fine with Lorcana does this well, right? There's not a ton of variants. I'm fine with the number of Magic products, like draft, set, collector. I'm not fine with the number of variants, right? The fact that there's a million different versions of the same card. I think we could hone that in a lot and still have the same lineup of products that we've become familiar with.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a hot take on this product.
Here we go.
It's not that hot. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say it.
What?
Say it into a microphone.
No, 'cause I don't remember.
Dude, we're how long in? Nobody's watching anyway. You're fine. Safe space. It's not.
Consumer or bad people, bad stores are going to be able to reseal these and take the promo cards out of them, and that'll be a market issue on this product.
No, it'll be fun.
There's no way Ravensburger would print a booster box that you can just get in. That's never gonna happen. Not a chance.
And like, I come back to why are they not putting shrink wrap on this?
They might. We don't know yet.
For the environment.
They printed one round so far.
For the environment.
You give up your right to care about the environment when you make a trading card game. Like, it's just bad for the environment. You give up. I agree. Do your best, but like, you can't make an argument that you are saving the environment when you are printing a bunch of.
I almost got banned from Genesis. You almost got me banned from Genesis.
When they did their booster pack thing, and then like they didn't do it.
They didn't recycle. I think people sent me packs, and I recycled mine. And apparently, they didn't.
Come on,
Canada.
That's a baller PR move, though, right? Because every other game, if you're a content creator and we're complaining about this, and their reasoning is the environment, it's so bad for a content creator to be like, "That's not a real reason." Your whole comment section should be like, "What, man? You hate trees?"
I love trees. I open my Pokemon in the beautiful sunlight. Like I
threw the plastic cellophane wrapper right into the forest.
But not putting
shoved that wrapper down a bird's throat.
But
the Louis George story.
Not putting cellophane on your box doesn't cover your guilt for printing a bunch of cardboard and ink.
There's also, you could have just made it a perforated box all the way around so you couldn't get into it. Listen, Magic did packs that, and granted they damaged the cards, but the whole pack was sealed with no plastic. You could have done that with the box because they're in the packs. You're not going to damage the cards. You could have perforated the whole edge of the box. You just didn't do it.
Just put those little stickers, the void stickers on them. Like, do something.
Don't do that. That's not the right answer.
The right answer is wrapping it. That's the right answer.
Yeah. Or perforated box.
It's
perforated box.
I'm okay with the perforated box. I prefer the wrapper.
I do too, because we all hate the environment apparently and hate trees.
Not as much as Louis.
Or birds.
No, I love the environment.
Louis apparently throws his Pokemon wrappers into forests.
Love the environment. Don't love the excuse.
See what you just said. That's why it's hard to comment. Every time I've made a video, I'm like, I know, listen, the environment's good, but we could have done better. Like,
It's like then make it a digital game if you care about the environment. All digital. Like,
and then you know what? Come to my channel and watch me play it when I do Hometown TCG Universes Beyond.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right. No, this looks cool. I don't know. I'm excited. Lorcana's crazy. I was wrong.
How is the first set going to get reprinted? How is the first set going to get reprinted?
They need to go to Pokemon and be like, look, guys, cool your crap.
I think that's actually true. I think that's
Bro,
I think that's actually true.
And then Pokemon doesn't have to worry about them coming after them because they get all the money. They're making the cards. Like, it's
don't
genius.
think that's
Bro, look, you're not using your printers anyway.
I
Just
think
let
the
us.
printer is the big winner in this industry. I'll be honest with you.
Right. Pokemon will be the printer. They'll make the money from Lorcana.
Is that the transition?
So they
when
don't have to
Lorcana
worry.
overtakes Pokemon and it dies,
they
then
don't
they
even
become
have
a
to
print
worry.
company.
And then George can be right. But Pokemon still wins. And they can go make their games that apparently nobody plays.
According to the data.
All right, everyone. We care about the environment. Leave your comments.
Put down your
No.
favorite type of tree in the comment section below.
I only want positive comments this week.
Oh, okay. My favorite kind of tree is maple because I like syrup.
My
At
favorite is
Waffle
the
House.
fact that in the comment section every week, there's a comment about how each one of us just doesn't get it. And it's like, well, I guess this is a perfect mismatch.
Oh, man.
I can't believe you guys read the comment section. I have never hated my life enough to read the comment section.
I'm addicted to making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
My channel, I can't stop. Someone asked me, why don't you just stop? I can't.
We have problems, George.
I can't.
What do
I
you do?
can't,
Like,
George.
why?
Because I'm addicted,
Yeah.
George.
You just don't get it. It's called dopamine.
When a video pops off, there's nothing. There's nothing. Nothing.
I've
that
never
feels-
had that happen.
From your ivory tower.
Neither of you. Frankly, neither of you. Like,
That's true. That's true.
pops off. 5,000 views. Woo! Yay!
God. Oh my God.
If I get 5,000 views, I get happy.
No, I know, but like I would be ecstatic. But like in the grand scheme of YouTube, we're kind of nobody.
Well, in the
Because you
grand,
guys
grand
don't
scheme of the
cover
universe,
Final
we're
We
also
are not
nobody.
nobody because somebody is watching this clip right now and they care about us. And so,
And what are you doing?
we
Are
care
you?
about
Do you
them,
also
too.
want to be nobody? Get out of here! What are you doing?
All right,
I
everyone.
don't ever Lorcana.
Thanks for watching this podcast for some reason. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comment section how much you hate us all. And
It's
go
great 'cause I'm
subscribe
sure that's
to
all they
Bob.
do, and you idiots read it.
Be kind to the people around you. And may the zoo be with you.
And Lorcana with you.
And also,